Timelines of trauma, a journey to present time and awareness. When we are traumatized as a child, we are imprinted with that memory. So I have this plate. So imagine there's an imprint, like a chip out of this plate. And this chip then goes up to source as far as possible away to feel safe. And there's a loop going back to the mind to say everything's okay. It's an illusion. Okay. That everything's okay. We need this as a child. If there's multiple hits, like multiple abuses, parents fighting all the time, it's chipping away at this plate. Now, this keeps us within the field, connected to that situation with our parents, for example, that were screaming and shouting, or maybe there was violence there on some level. Now, we're trapped in those fields, so we loop in that field, and that field can take us over. So we have these imprints. Normally, we have about, everyone usually has about 400 of these imprints. It depends how consistent and how significant that trauma was related to the imprints, which traps us in that field for life, knowingly or unknowingly, and we'll keep repeating relationships and friendships and life experiences related to this. Now, that's your imprint. We then, when we're born with the epigenetics, have all the imprints of the family in the system. So we are already imprinted when we're born. That's why, for example, if your mother was sexually abused, it's highly probable you will or your children will be abused. So these timelines keep us looped in this consistency, abuse frequency, and we are magnetic to attract it in our lives. It would be very difficult not to have some sort of abuse in our lives or be the abuser. It works both ways. So it's all frequency. If you got an abuse frequency in it, in your system, and then you have the potential to abuse or be abused. It's all one frequency. It's the same thing, unfortunately. So in this webinar, what I'm going to do is work with each of these bands and holograms and resolve them. So all these imprints, as many as we can in the webinar space, we can resolve. We can resolve. Because if you don't work on these imprints, you are trapped in a subconscious field that everything is okay and everything's all right. You will not see what's in front of your nose because your system's programmed in the childhood think daddy's safe, mommy's safe, the house is safe. In reality, the house was never safe. So these illusions need to be popped, the wounds need to be worked with, and the systems need to be resolved and the soul fragments back. This is what I'm going to do in this webinar, and this is the work. This is highly important work to resolve in everybody. And this is something you need really somebody to hold space. If it's heavy trauma, you need somebody to hold space for you to resolve these. That's why I have people working with me my whole, ever since I started this journey, I have a collection of people working, support me with my own system. That's how I can do this work. So in this webinar, I say I'm going to work on resolving them and going back to present time and space because in reality, if there's a 5-year-old traumatized, it means there's part of my system in that loop. Now, when we're older, at 16, 17, this field closes, and then you won't get more, not unless it's something heavy, like a rape or a war or something. But what happens is life, when you watch the news, for example, the Epstein stuff at the moment in everybody, it's opening all this energy where there's sexual abuse or manipulation in the system. So then there's more fragments. It depends on the level of wounds. But if you open all these wounds, now you're more out than in. You're in the mind. So you're more out than in. And this is what's happening on the collective level with all the Epstein stuff or watching the war. It's activating people's war. It's activated in the epigenetics. It's activating the abuse energy, manipulation, blackmail, all the fields of sexual abuse, perpetrator, victim. It's all active at the moment. And that is the collective field at the moment. There's a collective field of abuse. That's why the Epstein system is so strong It's not because it is, the Epstein system is strong already, but it's not really the Epstein. It's what's within you has been opened and you're projecting it onto the Epstein field. So it means that a lot of the consciousness all over the world now, their rape, their manipulation, their sexual abuse, which they were not aware of, now is open. And that creates a split in the veil. And that creates separation. Their war energies are open. That creates separation, will create war in their lives. So in this webinar, I'd like to address all these wounds which have been opened up intentionally in the system to open up the collective wound and also to disconnect from our trust in our brothers, in leaders, in humanity intentionally has been opened with the Epstein files being released like this. So this is breaking our trust in our leaders within ourselves, the leader within ourselves. It's not the leaders outside, it's the leader inside. So now you're not connected to yourself. You're going to connect to AI's God consciousness, not your own. AI's consciousness has all the information of God, has all the information of you. So AI will give you the right answers. AI will speak to you like God's speaking to you. That is not God. That is AI sucking in all the uploading all the information of God and you and what you want to hear and feeding it back to you. So when you ask a question, you think it's God. It's not God. It's it's the mind. You need to maintain your channel and ground your system. The collective now with the Epstein has been dissociated and lost trust within themselves, lost trust in their God channel themselves. That is what's happening on the collective field. And that is very concerning because if we lose faith in our channel, our God connector, father, for example, is God, okay? And the Epstein is a lot of men abusing women. So it's disconnected from God and Mother Earth. So then what are we connecting to? We're going to connect to AI. We're going to lose faith in ourselves. We're going to lose faith in each other, in humanity. So now it's about resetting your system and closing these wounds fast. So we go back to our center and we go back to our original channel and we go back to our God channel, which is in each one of us. You have the power to change the universe. But if you connect to the false light, if you connect to the false gods and be dissociated, ungrounded, now you're in the illusion. And now you are open and susceptible to be programmed. And you will believe it's right. The information you get will be right. The information you get will make sense. It will feel right. It will be conscious. It'll look conscious because it's tapped into consciousness. It will tell you everything you feel is correct. But where's that information coming from? And who has it disconnect you from your own channel and your own belief system in your own creativity, your own muscle, your own connection with the divine? And have you handed that over to AI? These questions are very important at this timeline. And this system is extremely important in this timeline. This is what I want to work with over the weekend. So you're connected, reconnected with your original roots, reconnecting with nature codes, reconnected with your own God channel, reconnected with yourself, and come out of these illusions and reconnect with you, yourself. And then you can use AI if you want. But if you're using it, if it's disconnected you from your grounding, from yourself, and you're in these illusions because of all these abusive programs have been opened and wounds have been opened in you from your ancestors and from your life, and they're all open, you won't know where you are. You won't know who you are. You will not know who you're connecting to. This is what I want to resolve in this webinar. It's a very important, fast timeline at the moment. Let's make the right choice here and let's work in our own system. The answers are inside you. The power is within you. You don't have to go outside. It's all within you. I invite you to be part of this. Thank you.